Buyer's Guide is brought to you by Change Cars. Find your dream vehicle with Change Cars, the platform buyers trust.
This week on Buyer's Guide, we help a VW fan upgrade from a Polo into something a little bit more spacious.
Sporty compacts from the BMW family go head to head.
And we find a replacement for a hardworking Nissan Qashqai.
Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Buyer's Guide, the show where we help you, our viewers, to solve some of the toughest automotive problems. If you have a question for the team, you can send it to buyersguide@ignitiontv.co.za. And remember to give us as much information as possible, including a clear photograph of yourself.
Now joining us in studio this week are two familiar faces on Buyer's Guide. Paddy Talliard from CMH Haval, Little Falls, and Thomas Faulkner from the Sunday Times. Guys, once again, great to have you back.
Thank you.
Great to be here.
Good. Okay, we're going to kick off things with a question from Calvin. He currently drives a 2016 Polo 1-litre Blue Motion. He's looking to upgrade to a slightly bigger car while staying in the VW family. His options are the new Polo Comfort Line or a slightly older Golf 7 Comfort Line. He'd prefer a petrol version. He has a budget of 6,000 Rand a month, including insurance, and he'll be doing around 20 to 30,000 Ks a year. Thomas, he's got a Polo.
Yeah.
Should he buy a Polo or a Golf if he wants more space?
I think you should buy a Toyota Corolla hatch.
A Corolla hatch.
Yeah, good second-hand Corolla hatch, 1.2 turbo, a little bit more space. Will go on forever and ever.
Did you not read the brief? He's a VW fan.
Yes, he doesn't want to get
no
anything
ways.
else. Can you not put him in a Tiguan or a Touran at 6K a month?
You could, yeah, but I mean...
It's a bigger vehicle. It's in the VW family.
Yeah, it is. Look,
But would it last him? What he wants, 10 years or something?
Yeah, well, that's why you know.
You don't want to put him in. That's why you want to put him in a
That's why I want to
Toyota.
put him in a Toyota if he wants to keep it for a long time.
I do like
You
that.
guys know.
I agree with you. I think the Corolla hatch is a great little car.
Yeah.
But he's obviously a VW fan.
Yeah, look.
And
it's not-
we're not going to get you out of your Porsche. So
No,
you
exactly.
love that.
Yeah.
Paddy, what would you say? Golf 7 or a newer Polo?
Golf 7.
Yeah, it's a good car.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean, if that's what he wants, nothing against the Golf 7.
Mm.
It's going to give him a little bit more space. He still has the brand behind him. It's a safe option. Resale will be good.
And if you go for like a 1.2 or the 1.4 turbo, they're not too bad, those engines. They're okay. Just don't buy a DSG
gearbox, yeah.
avoid-
DSG,
avoid
buy a
the
manual,
plague.
because unfortunately the DSGs are problematic. You're going to have hassles. It's not, it's not are you going to, it's when.
Yeah.
So buy a manual. The manuals, then you're going to get actually a fairly good, reliable car if you're a VW fan. I would say, look, the new Polo is nice. It looks nice. It drives well. It's a great little car. But if you think he wants more space, go for a Golf 7. Just a basic 1.2 or 1.4. You'll get all the nice little features that you get in those Comfort Line versions, and buy a manual version. If you want to buy the DSG, just go listen to Thomas. Buy the Corolla. Yeah, the Corolla hatch.
Yeah, Corolla
Yeah.
hatch. There you go.
6,000 Rand a month buys you what?
350,000, isn't it?
Somewhere in that sort of
Yeah.
region. So you're going to get something
Yeah,
nice.
with 6, including your insurance.
Including
That's
And-
insurance.
and
Well, the problem with insurance is we all know. I may pay 500 Rand for it.
Correct.
But I'll
Paddy could pay
yeah.
2 grand.
You're going to
Correct.
pay about the same price as you pay for your monthly installment.
Yeah. That depends on how many times you've crashed the car, where you live, all that kind of thing. So I think, and this is something we should discuss, and that is, before you buy a car,
Check
You
the
know,
insurance on
check what they,
Correct.
if you're
Yeah.
thinking of buying a
GTI.
Haval from Paddy as an example,
Correct.
phone up the insurance company, say, I'm thinking of buying a Jolion, and I live here, how much is the insurance? Because you go along and you find out how much the car is, and say, cool, I can pay that every month, and then the insurance comes along and says, no, you can't. You have to pay 2,000 Rand a month for insurance, which you
Correct.
don't budget. So do that little homework before.
And
because
we've
it can be
lost a
expensive.
lot of clients like that who've come in to take delivery of their vehicles, and once they're on the floor, only then do they phone their insurance companies. And then they realize on delivery, but I can't afford this vehicle because of my insurance
Yeah.
premium that I've been quoted.
Yeah.
And there's nothing we can do from a dealer level to assist
Yeah.
on that.
Because the insurance got nothing to do with you.
That insurance
their
has got
problem.
nothing to do with us, yeah.
But
Okay.
I think we're also going to go buy the Golf or take Thomas's great advice.
And buy a Toyota. Right, we turn our attention now to SUVs. Wendy's son will be going to university next year. Good luck, Wendy. And they would like to buy him a suitable set of wheels. They have a budget of 350,000 Rand and would like to get him a demo model Suzuki Jimny. However, he has his heart set on a used Jeep Wrangler. Crucially, the vehicle should be safe and cost-effective to run. Can we help to convince their son that the Jimny is the way to go? The fact that mom and dad actually want to buy you a vehicle, I would zip it and just take any vehicle they give me.
Yeah, it's
But that's
incredible.
just me. That's just me. Patty, what would you say?
I'd do Suzuki Jimny. Yes, Jeep Wrangler, nice, butch, makes a statement, etc. But the Suzuki Jimny can go
How about the
anywhere.
maintenance
The
and fuel?
Jeep can
of the
go
Exactly.
with a lot lower maintenance than the Jeep and a lot lower fuel consumption than the Jeep. So yes, I do understand the ego value on the Jeep Wrangler, but the little Jimny.
Yeah,
that
but
is
when
a
Wendy's son is-
magnificent little
When Wendy's
car.
son's paying for the car, then he can get himself his Jeep.
100%.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think the Jimny is a great car. I don't think anybody's ever said, "Oh, it's rubbish." It's a great car.
Jimny's a great car.
They're fantastic.
I mean, it's an icon. It's a
Yes.
modern
Yes.
icon.
Absolutely.
The new one is much improved over the previous one. It's got the bigger engine, so it's a little bit better on the highway. You can cruise at like 120, 130 as opposed to 100 in the older one. It's got Apple CarPlay, which is quite lacquer, and you know, it's got all the things you want in a car. And I think as a town car, it works really well as well because it's small and compact, it's easy to park. It's your first car, you know, so these are things to consider. And it's going to hold its value very well
Yes.
as well,
Correct.
which is very
Yes.
important. So when
As
time
compared to
comes
the
sell,
Jeep. Exactly.
I mean, that Jeep's just going to plummet
Plummet, yes.
off a cliff. That's
After
it.
6 months, they're going to want to sell the Jeep.
Yeah.
Because it's going to cost you so much money to run.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if it's diesel or petrol. Maintenance costs are ridiculous. The Suzuki Jimny is a great option to go for if you can find one. But I want to throw one other car in here. And it's going to come as a surprise, but it's a Chinese brand. And I would say certainly go and have a look at the Chery Tiggo 4 Pro. It's just been released. 350,000 Rand is going to get you like the top of the range thing with every bell and whistle that you can think of. Comes with a 5-year, 150,000 kilometer warranty. Comes with a 1,000,000 kilometer guarantee on the engine, or 10 years, whichever comes first. So it is a great vehicle. It drives well, goes nice, full of features. So you're going to buy a brand new car
Yes.
as opposed to a second-hand car. It's an option. I'm not saying go and buy it. Go and have a look at it. Walk into a Chery deal and have a look. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. That to me has been one of the most surprising cars that I've driven this year. They've come up leaps and bounds. You know,
So-
with your brand Haval, we would have said the same thing a couple of years ago. Oh, buy a Haval. No. Now you say yes. In that segment, I believe, the 300 to 400,000 Rand segment, the two best cars in that segment come from Haval, that's the Jolion, and the Chery Tiggo. Really, it's surprising to say that, but the Chinese cars in that segment are the best buys at present.
And that's the cherry on the top.
And that's the cherry on the top. We'll be taking a short break, but when we return, we take a closer look at the performance of the BMW F30 320 diesel.
And we pitch the Mini Cooper S against its distant cousin, the BMW 125i.
Find your dream vehicle with Change Cars, the platform buyers trust.
Welcome back to Buyer's Guide. Renier is looking for a second-hand car and he can spend a maximum of 300,000 Rand. Good fuel consumption and power are his top priorities as he doesn't want anything less than 120 kilowatts. Currently he drives a 2011 BMW 320 diesel E90 and he's very happy with it. So he'd like to upgrade to a 2016 F30 version of the 320 diesel. He's not considering a smaller vehicle or a bakkie, but he has been looking at the Audi Q5 3-litre TDI. Now guys, which vehicle would have a better resale value and which one would either of you two go for?
I'd go for the, well, I don't know, I think I'd keep what I've got. I mean, that's not a bad car.
The E90.
Yeah, the E90 is a good car. I think as far as those diesel-powered saloons go, the BMW 3 Series was probably the most reliable. I mean, I've got a friend who's got one that's done, I think, like 370,000 Ks.
Yeah.
and it just keeps on going and going and going.
The
and
320D is
Maintained
strong-
well, yes.
it's
Yeah,
strongest one.
you
We don't
know.
know the condition of his E90.
Exactly.
correct.
It could be very high mileage, in which case, maybe he wants to get something with lower mileage. But I think even if he gets the newer one, it has those genes. The 320D is
The one to go for.
reliable,
It is
Yes.
the best of
proven
the
car
class.
in that kind of class.
Paddy,
And
your feeling on this?
Well, I'm looking at the question where he asks which vehicle would have the better resale value. So I went back and I looked at book trade on both cars. And I just took the basics, not all because
Yeah.
there's a million different derivatives of
Sure.
F30 and a Q5. And the Q5 has got the better book trade. So Q5 current book trade is 369 with a recommended retail of 441, and your BMW 320 F30 book trade of 247. That is the numbers that your recommended retail and your trade-in is based on. So when you come to trade your car in, book trade is what the guys look at
Yeah,
when
but
they
remember,
value
the
your
Q5 is a
vehicle.
more expensive car to buy.
100%.
Yeah.
But then he's asking which would have a better resale value.
I
So
think
based on those numbers, the Q5
Mhm.
would have the better resale value.
But as you know, when somebody drives in with a Q5 to trade it in, or they're driving with a 320D, as a dealer, you're going to pay more for that 320D.
Not
Because the
necessarily.
Q5 is
Not
known.
necessarily. I would say if we get a 320D trade-in, we would look at it exactly the same way that we would look at a Q5. We would look at the condition, we would look at the mileage, and we would look at how the vehicle has been looked after.
Yeah, but I think also if we look at, in this case, he's looking at a Q5 in his 300 budget. So if the Q5
Well,
is in his 300
there
budget,
is no Q5 in his 3
exactly,
litre
there is
GTI
no. So
in his budget.
if he's found one in his budget, that means the mileage is most probably
Most
very
probably
high,
sky
or it's
high.
an older one.
But based on fact, there is nothing. I mean, the retail value or the recommended retail of the Q5 is 441,
That's over 100,000 rand
which is
over his budget.
over his budget. So he shouldn't even be considering the Audi Q5.
That's it. And
Yeah.
what he should be doing is he should be going and buying the F30. I think that the F30 is a great example. It's a nice car to
100%.
drive. It's
Yeah.
a much better inside than the E90. It looks good, and the 320D is by far the best one. And for 300 grand, he'll find one. He'll find a
Exactly.
320D. It'll be just out of motorplane, or maybe 90,000 Ks on it. So he's going to find something spot on in there, and I think he'll be very happy with it.
great car.
Yeah.
Sporty, rear-wheel drive, nice dynamics.
Yep.
And if you can get the manual,
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
think
That's
that
what you want.
the F series was a big step up from the E90. E90 was never had the greatest suspension on it. It wasn't a great car to drive, but the F30 is much more comfortable. It's a lot more reliable. It's more refined. It's more upmarket. I think it's a really great car to drive. It's one of the best in its segment. So go buy an F30. Don't even look at the Q5 because
I know.
in your price range, it's just going to cost too much. You're going to get one high mileage, and then it's going to break and you're going to cry. Okay, we're going to move on to Katlego. He's 30 years old and drives a 2015 Ford Fiesta 1-litre power shift, which he's suffering from transmission problems. He's thinking of trading it in on a slightly sporty manual vehicle that is cheap to maintain. His options are Mini Cooper S or BMW 125i, but he's open to other recommendations as well. His budget is 4,000 to 4,800 Rand a month, and he drives about 15 Ks a year. Or 15,000, obviously. So do you buy a BMW 125 or do you buy a Mini? So he wanted reliability. So
That's exactly what I was
don't really
thinking.
go-
Where are you
yeah.
going to get reliability and low maintenance
yeah.
on a Mini Cooper S?
yeah.
Or even on a 125?
Look, I think if you get the older 125, like a 125 coupe,
Yeah, the 125, yes.
that's a nice car. That was a period of BMW where it was fairly solid,
Yeah.
good proven engine, naturally aspirated, nice car to drive. I think if you buy a nice one, you'll get a car that'll be reliable and fun and sporty to drive.
No, the two-door, yes.
So out of those two that he wants, that's the one I would go.
BMW.
I'd go for. But just thinking out the box here, he could also look at a Toyota 86, an MX-5 that we've already spoken about, and also a left field choice, an Abarth 595 or Abarth 500. You can get a nice low mileage, like between 2011 and 2014 for about 200 to 250,000.
And I'd take an Abarth over a Mini Cooper S.
Definitely.
Every
Any
day of the week.
Any
As
day.
long as you maintain them.
Yes.
I think from a reliability point of view, I think the Abarth would be better. And it's not a terrible car.
The thing is, with the Cooper S, you're definitely going to take a bath.
You are.
Yeah.
I just
Very unreliable.
Unreliable and hard to
Maintenance
work
cost.
on, and have
Yes.
to take off hundreds of pieces to get to this part. And
Yeah.
to me, no. If you want something like a boutique hatch, rather look at the Fiat Abarth.
Yeah.
But I like your
That's an option.
125 coupe idea.
Great car.
That's a fantastic car.
Great car, really nice car,
Really
nice
nice
to
car,
drive,
yes.
and will probably, I think, short term, well, medium term, maybe start appreciating in terms of value as well. That was a high watermark in terms of small, affordable, sporty coupe.
Yes.
Maybe he should just go back to our previous conversation and go and buy himself like a 320 diesel.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
And you can even buy it in automatic because the gearboxes are strong.
yeah.
Because I don't think they came out in manual. They only came out in auto, if I remember correctly.
Which ones?
The E90 320 diesels. But
Yeah.
even if you can find a manual one, I'm just trying to remember, but I don't think they did come out in manual. But there's a great car. You're going to get lots of power, space, reliability, good fuel consumption.
And you
And-
won't have maintenance problems with
Yeah.
it. No,
And-
it's pretty easy to maintain as
Yeah,
well.
pretty easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an option. But we've given us a whole lot. Paddy, is there something you want to throw in?
Abarth. I'm still stuck on Abarth. Definitely
The
Abarth.
Fiat 500
Oh,
Abarth.
yes. If you want
Yeah.
fun and you want performance, and
So
as
much
you've
fun.
mentioned, it's just such a niche market vehicle. It's a no-brainer for me personally. I'd go Abarth.
There you go.
There you go. Don't go away, because after the break we compare some of the top C SUVs on the market.
And we find out how the Toyota Quantum's imitators stack up against the real thing.
Find your dream vehicle with Change Cars, the platform buyers trust.
Thank you for tuning in to Buyer's Guide. MacDonald lives in the Free State and owns a Nissan Qashqai with 90,000 Ks on the clock. He discovered recently that the car was sold to him as a 2018, but it's actually a 2017 model. So we'd like to trade it in on something newer, either a 2018 or 2019 Nissan X-Trail, Mazda CX-5, Honda CR-V, or the new Toyota Corolla Cross. He's got a budget of 350,000 Rand, and whatever he buys, the vehicle has got to last him at least 10 years, Thomas.
Well, it's obvious then.
Yes, buy the Honda CR-V.
No.
Oh,
No.
The
Corolla
Cherry.
Cross.
Oh, the Corolla Cross.
Mazda CX-5.
Or the Mazda CX-5.
Or the Cherry.
Or the
Or
Cherry.
the Joliet.
Oh, yeah.
Or the Joliet.
I mean, you can
There's
get a
so many.
Joliet in that price range, brand new, affordable, well-specced, proven in the industry.
All great cars.
Yeah, they're all bulletproof.
You went and
They're
bought
all-
anything from there, it's great. But as Paddy says, the Joliet is a great option to have a look at as well, because that budget, you're going to get a lot more spec. Corolla Cross is great. I know you mentioned it's a great car. It drives nicely, but 350 gets you entry level.
Yeah, you're getting the base spec.
Where if you go Joliet,
1.8.
You can get the Lux manual at
Yeah.
333.
like I mentioned earlier, I don't want to go on about it, but the Cherry Tiggo 4 Pro is a great car and a great option, and really well worth to go and have a look at. Because 350, like the Haval, you get loads of extra kit in that. Whether it'll last 10 years, well, we'll have to see.
If they're giving you 1,000,000 kilometers and 10-year guarantee,
Yeah,
you should be lasting 10 years.
it should be. But Corolla Cross is great. If you're happy with an entry-level spec, you're going to get a fantastic car that is, we can all say, you're guaranteed it's going to last you 10 years, no problems. No problems whatsoever. So the Mazda CX-5, same thing. But the CX-5, you're talking second-hand cars now, because you won't get a CX-5 for
No, you
350.
won't.
You'll have to pay more.
Yep.
The same with the Honda CR-V. You're going to have to pay more. They're all great cars.
You know, Honda CR-V is also a very good option.
Yeah.
Absolutely excellent option.
So your choice is to buy an older second-hand car, or you can go and buy yourself a brand new Corolla Cross, or you can buy the Joliet, or you can buy a Cherry Tiggo, which are all basically brand new. So my advice here would be go out and drive all those cars and see which one you prefer. Do you prefer proven reliability, loads of dealers? You buy the Toyota. If you want all the bells and whistles and toys, then you go and buy a Chinese product. You go buy Haval, or you go buy Cherry Tiggo.
So what do you say, Thomas?
I'm going with Corolla Cross, and if you can stretch a little bit, you can get a slightly better variant with more stuff in it.
Yeah, 380 gets you a good one.
Yeah,
Gets you all the spec. The non-hybrid version, around about, I think it's about 380. So if
Yeah.
you just push that budget a little bit, you'll get all the little niceties in the car.
And finally, here's a question from Charles, who would like to buy a minibus. He says a good second-hand Toyota Quantum will set you back around 300,000 Rand. However, the lookalikes like the CMC, Photon and BMW cost way less. Are these models any good in terms of reliability, fuel efficiency and parts availability? Come on guys, y'all know.
There's a reason they cost a lot less.
Yeah. Ouch, Patty.
Is Photon even still in the country?
Yeah, I don't think they
seen
are
them in a
actually.
while.
no.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So yeah, I would stick with the second-hand Quantum. And we were talking earlier about the Nissan NV350.
Yeah, the
Yes.
EV350.
Yes, that's also a good option to
That's
look
it.
at.
Because those, you've got a better backup. And I think Quantum is certainly the way to go for.
Yes.
If you can find one in your budget. I mean, there's companies like SA Taxi that have thousands of those things.
Yeah, and they refurbish them as well.
fix
Yes.
them up.
Yeah, they fix
Maybe
them
an
up.
option to go along
Yeah.
that route, because you may get a cheaper minibus. But I've seen those things on the road. They don't look like
They look awful.
They look-
age badly. They
Ah.
dissolve in the rain. It's
Yes.
like
That's it. That's another one. Thank you,
And
Thomas.
it-
They dissolve in
This
the
is
rain.
one like
They're
this.
terrible.
It's
Yeah.
terrible.
They dissolve in the
Terrible.
rain.
and you're going to struggle to find parts for them. You know, a couple of years ago, I went out and I bought a mocha pot, and I thought I can either buy the fancy Italian version for X amount, or I can save and buy a cheap imitation version. And I went for the imitation version because I'm a cheap, you know. And I regretted it because I kind of thought I should have spent extra on getting the real deal, because then I wouldn't have had to buy one
Yeah.
down, you know. So,
Because-
so that's the thing. Like, you want to get the one that's proven, works,
Tested.
tested.
There's a reason why 99% of the vehicles on the road or driven on taxis are Quantums.
Yeah.
Because the guys know they last. They do 500,000 kilometers trouble-free.
Easy. Yeah.
They can abuse them. There's parts availability everywhere. Any spare shop you walk in will have
I think that's why most of them
taillights,
buy the
headlights,
Quantums.
all
and
these parts. Yeah.
they abuse them
Yeah.
because you can.
Taxi
can
drivers
abuse them.
abusing
Yes.
the vehicles?
Yeah.
Yes.
No, never.
Never.
Yeah. But it's rather find a Quantum, spend the extra money on
Yeah,
it.
absolutely.
Because it's going to actually cost you more in the long run to buy one of the cheap,
Totally will.
the knockoff version.
And then you'll end up buying a Quantum anyway.
Anyway,
When that
after
comes
having
out-
spent about
Exactly.
400k anyway.
Nobody wants that heap of junk that you bought.
No.
So buy the Quantum. And with that, we have just come to the end of this week's episode. Paddy and Thomas, once again, great having you here in studio, joining us and providing our viewers with all that useful tips and
Thank
advice.
you.
Sure. You're welcome.
Thanks, guys. And remember, if you're in the market for a newer used vehicle, whether it be a B-segment hatch, executive sedan, or a minibus, visit changecars.co.za to see if they can beat your quote.
Until next time, remember to check those tire pressures and keep it safe on the roads.
Buyer's Guide was brought to you by Change Cars, the platform where only manufacturer-approved dealers are allowed to advertise.